This is a little warning to anyone that has been raped or has been sexually abused in any sort of way. This is a part in the story where she shows a senator how horrible it is to be raped and why it shouldn't be treated so lightly and cast aside. And there are a lot of details that can be triggering for people, so I will be having links and or just times in the description box so you can skip past the actual description of the rape versus you can skip to the aftermath of it if you so wish. You can even skip to the very end when she just has a few good points, or you can skip this particular video altogether and go on to the next where she really starts to give them what for. Without any more further warnings, here is episode 4. You call yourselves merciful and compassionate. Never in all my years would I imagine you would have rape as a pre-existing condition. Never in my wildest dreams would I think that would be a sentence. My Republican colleague who saw her standing in the middle of the Senate floor rolled his eyes and scoffed. "Oh, you disagree with my disgust?" She walked toward him. "Well, little man, listen to me as I tell you why rape shouldn't be treated so lightly. Imagine your daughter walking down the street, or with a friend or more, or with a family member. He pushes her, slaps her, punches her. She tells him no, but he refuses to listen. She screams and cries. He pulls up her skirt, shoves his member up her as she screams. My colleague averted his eyes, not wanting to hear it. She put her hand over his mouth, digging her nails into his cheeks, forcing him to look at her. "You see," she continued, as he feebly struggled to get away, "women are not ready for a member all the time. It needs to get that way. So when a man forces himself upon her, it rips flesh, rubs her raw even. So she protests as loudly as she possibly can, fighting, but he's too strong for her. He puts his hand over your daughter's precious mouth in response to her screams. His body's weight on her, the smells, the sounds, the feeling of an unwanted member ripping, her pleas, her tears, screams falling on deaf ears that will haunt her dreams for weeks, months, or years. He still continues until she hears his breath catch in her ear as he comes. She can feel it, like warm, sour milk down a sore throat. His body relaxes into hers, how exuberant he is to take her freedom, her dignity, her worth, her trust, and her humanity. At first she tells herself it didn't happen, trying to cling to all he took. She bargains as reality sinks in, tells herself that she is still alive. She should be thankful. Soon anger comes. So does depression when she realizes she isn't alive at all. She is a hollow shell filled with memories of the smell and the noises and the sensations of his relaxed body and his sour, warm milk that has filled the torso-shaped chasm that once held her humanity. She is a walking, talking glory hole, nothing more and nothing less. Society, with all its misguided comments, just solidifies such a feeling that that is all she ever was. She said no, but you wore a skirt so you wanted it. She said no, you flirted so you wanted it. She said no, your biology came so you wanted it. She said no, you were drunk so you wanted it. She said no, but you were easy in high school so you wanted it. Her no meant nothing to him. He didn't care. Means nothing to everyone else either. Yes, she's your daughter, she said as if answering his thoughts. But not to the beast. In his claws, she isn't a student, a mother, a wife. She doesn't have hopes, dreams, ambitions. She is nothing to him but a thing to own. He saw the light you loved and thought he'd take it, yet to everyone else she wanted it. She will run to her father's, thinking for sure he, of all, will believe and protect her. What are you going to do? Pat her on the head? Tell her she should have sat back and enjoyed it? My colleague's face was red as tears fell down his cheeks and her fingers. He was fighting to protest her accusations. Unnaturally strong, she pulled him in even closer. She bled for a while after, not because of a broken hymen, but because of what he did to her. She sat there listening to you, silently crying, too embarrassed to tell you that the man tore her body apart and more. You can see it in her eyes. That the light you saw in her when she was born is gone, for the little girl you loved and knew died that day. Are you going to tell her that it was God's will, like it's a comfort, that God wanted her humanity taken? You know nothing of God if that's what you think, and frankly, he wouldn't like you putting such words in his mouth. So good luck when it's your turn to step up to the pearly gates. God-fearing. You don't fear God enough if that's what you think God would wish on any one of his children. Tears dripping from his chin and her hand onto his desk. Her grip on his face stayed steadfast. So many different ways of dying, and rape is but one. She can be reborn and stronger than before, but she will need help. Will you deny her that? But those bitchy, nasty women who bear your children dare to want help to gain a sense of their humanity in the face of the worst form of objectification. Will you echo everyone else's apathetic response? Just get over it? Have fun raising the beast's baby, nothing but an incubator, doesn't matter how it happens? Keep and raise the child, no time, no money to rebuild the shell of the human that once lived there in her form, no time to grieve her loss. It may take years to rebuild, may gain some of what she lost. She will become a better, stronger her if she is able to grow. She will be lesser in all forms if she doesn't. But who cares? For what else is a bitch good for if she can't produce pups? So you deny their health care and sanity, dehumanize them all over again. Throw them to the wolves for a profit as nothing but a pre-existing condition. My colleague was breathing hard through his nose, trying to fight to get away from her. If you ever wondered if evil exists, I suggest you remember the reflection in the mirror this morning, for there is the face of it. She let go of him. The senator next to him tried to ask if he was okay, but he pulled away, averting his gaze. Sadly, for the transgressions you have done, you won't go to prison and find out how comparable the raping of a man is. What a pity. She sneered. As she turned away, I could see my colleague's tears on her hand, glistening in the light, but only for a moment, for the tears disappeared, sinking into her glove-like skin. If you ever wondered if evil exists, I suggest you remember the reflection. If you ever wondered